Hey there guys, and welcome to another video. Apologies in advance, I'm a little under the weather. Today we're going to be talking about, we're back to shill talking. Let's be honest, you know, we always tell ourselves we're not going to talk about the shills anymore. And we get back on talking about shills. Today we're talking about our good old buddy.
Welcome to another video from Gweilo60 on the streets of Nanning City.
Gweilo60. Gweilo60, you know, putting out some interesting content lately. Being a little bit more honest. I wonder why. What a strange thing. Gweilo, of course, for years has been telling us about how, you know.
And I put out these videos to show you the real streets of China, how it really is. They thrive. You don't see garbage on the street. You don't see homeless people. You don't see violence.
Homelessness in China just doesn't exist. That homelessness in the West is way worse than in China, and that you would never see these tent camps in China.
You never have to worry about crime.
Boy, she's been a couple of rough days for me here in mainland China. On the 9th of this month, I lost my cell phone. I would imagine I was pickpocketed. I would just about bet on it.
You have no drug addicts on the streets of China. You have no homeless people. Well, let me back up. There are homeless people. I've seen homeless people, but on a scale of what we see here in Canada, the United States, or Europe, or anywhere else that I've ever been in the world, you might as well just say there's no homeless people. One or two here and there, and that's it.
Now all of a sudden, recently, we've got a video from Gweilo60 where these tent cities have magically appeared. Very strange. It's like they showed up overnight, because surely Gweilo60 wouldn't lie to us about something like that in an effort just to push propaganda for the Chinese government.
It's all Western mainstream media bullshit, and I know, I've been around there for over 20 years.
Which means that these tent cities must have just popped up, and they're there over the last few weeks now, and he's posted this video and an update to let us all know the truth, of course. Or, of course, it is the contrary, of course, in that he's been lying for years, making videos about how homelessness didn't exist in China, even though it has the entire time. Of course it has. I think that any fool that has ever been to China has walked around a major train station and seen that homelessness does exist. I think that any fool has walked around China before, and especially in some of the older parts of the cities, and seen that homelessness does exist in China. You know, and it's not, here's the thing. You know, you think, well, he lives in Nanning. It's not the richest city in the world. I'm going to tell you a little secret. It's not just his city. It's every city in China. I have seen homeless people in Guangzhou. In fact, where I used to live in Guangzhou, you know, I used to live right next to where IKEA was. And there was an IKEA there in Guangzhou. And there was an overpass bridge to go from one side of the street to the other. There was a homeless guy that lived on top of the train station. Lived up there all the time. Slept on the overpass and was there every single day. Security knew he was there. Nobody ever did anything. He had you know, a tent, he had, you know, all that stuff that you would expect a homeless person to have. And he had it there, and you could constantly see homeless people coming in and out of the train station there, moving around and things like that. They may not stay in the same place forever, but they're definitely homeless, and they definitely would be there. So it comes back to this same question, you know, why have the shills lied for years and years, and now all of a sudden we see Gweilo walking through an underground passage, showing the homeless people, you know, and he talks about filming them and how you could never, you know, like you can't do that in the West, you know, and it's so dangerous in the West to film the homeless. If that's true, then why is there so much content? Why is it so talked about in the West? You know, that's the thing. The ones that are trying to hide it are people like you. The ones that are trying to hide it are people like China, people that talk about how they have pulled people out of poverty. You know, I don't understand. Not only that, I've always felt like it was a serious, you know, insult to the Chinese people to say that no homeless people exist in China. Meanwhile, you know, there are people that live in extreme poverty, you know, in China, that are homeless, that have, you know, or homes that are really, you know, I've seen homes before where maybe, you know, the floor was made out of dirt, or maybe the concrete walls were broken and torn down, and, you know, they had to use paper or whatever they could to, you know, try and fill in the hole. And to me, that, you know, to say that there is no homelessness in China is insulting to the people that really do struggle in China, because they exist. And the other problem with that is how can you know, here in the West, we talk about the homelessness because we want to bring alleviation to these people. We want people to see this, to understand this, because how can you ever solve a problem unless you show this problem to people, unless you get people to understand that there is a problem? You see, finally, for whatever reason, Gweilo60 has gone back. He has backtracked after years of lying. You can even check one of his, you can just go to his channel and just check the videos. There's multiple videos of him talking about, you know, homelessness not existing in China. In fact, there's one just from, I think, maybe 8 or 9 months ago where he talks about there's like no homeless people in the downtown area of his city or whatever. But either way, yeah, come on, guys. These shows are just so pathetic. Their stories just flip-flop. You know, that's why there's no credibility with any of them. That's why their viewers come and go and no one trusts anything that they say anyways, because everyone knows, end of the day, they're full of shit. Like, comment, subscribe, and have a...
Welcome to another video from Gweilo60. This time we're going to be talking about disgusting habits that Chinese people have. And I'm not saying that all Chinese people have these habits, but a good number of them do. And you know, I think it's a lack of education. Chinese people take their shoes off, bare feet, in restaurants, and put it on their chairs. Chinese people take their shoes off in airplanes and with people beside them and stick their feet up on the chair, the airplane chair. They take their shoes off in airports and lay down and with their feet, you know, and there's feet everywhere. And yes, it's disgusting and it stinks, and it's just one of those disgusting habits that I don't like.